What must a man do before he is 30? Find a balance between enjoying life and planning for the future. Seriously. Otherwise you'll stress out way too much about doing either when things are imbalanced and possibly do nothing, or dive in too hard to one and have a worse life for it. Learn to have an identity. You likely already have one, but don't conform it to others. Whether it's at work, your relationship, etc. Just be yourself. I struggled with this for a while. Tried to be who my family wanted, my work wanted, etc. Now, I have gotten promoted at my job. I've been with my wife for over a decade and have a great life overall. Just because I didn't care about what other people thought of me. Never worry about what others think of you. Be yourself. If they don't like you, it's their problem, not yours. I struggle with the family bit a lot because I have amazing parents, but at the same time they have a different expectation of who I will be in the future vs who I want to be. Religion, family, certain beliefs. It's tough because those things can hurt them, but I need to start living my own life. I've been getting help for it since January, and I'm very optimistic. Learn to let go. Life is going to kidney punch you sometimes, and instead of collapsing your mental foundation, destroying your body, or spending your fortune letting go, especially when difficult, can preserve much of what you've built over your lifetime. Easier said than done though. For example, don't think about pink elephants. Distraction isn't always enough to get the job done. Any tips? If you're busy working out, reading great books, or joyfully engaged in a hobby, you won't be thinking about pink elephants. Simple and often repeated advice. Just keep doing things. Keep the healthy momentum going. Allow for some time to breathe and let your thoughts flow. But don't get trapped in mind loops and destructive cycles. And yes, much more easily said than done. Learn to separate your identity from your parents. Learn to believe in yourself. Learn to separate your identity from anything. You are not your wealth. You are not your job. You are not your singleness. You are not your total upvotes. You are not your job. You're not how much money you have in the bank. You are not the car you drive. You're not the contents of your wallet. You are not your car keys. Tyler Durden. Sartor would be proud. Have hobbies they can do during downtime. You'll never be bored. I'm curious. What kind of hobbies do you have? Photography, mountain biking, hiking, kayaking. Basically anything to keep me active. I just found my polar opposite. I'm carpentry, gaming, cooking, basically anything that doesn't involve pushing my body. Can always do both my dude. Rest is always needed from physical activity. Learn to control yourself and realize emotions and thoughts are not necessarily true. Learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Be grateful for everything you have. Good advice. Never underestimate how easy it is to create biased scenarios within your mind, tricking yourself into believing your own conclusions based on personal perception and emotions. Always remember that your brain is a biological tool designed to help you survive and reproduce. It isn't supposed to give you an accurate reflection of reality. It isn't supposed to make you happy. It's a tool. Don't trust it blindly. Don't confuse the things bouncing around your head as being the totality of you. Apostrophe. Get a hobby totally unrelated to your work. Something interesting that you can talk about with people. It really doesn't matter what it is. If you're passionate about it and can convey that passion to others, people will find it interesting. They won't necessarily find the hobby itself interesting, but they will find you more interesting because of it. Lol, the last sentence here is very true. Establish an exercise routine you enjoy and develop good habits with your nutrition, eating foods you actually enjoy eating. I gained a lot of weight in my late 20s and early 30s. Spent my late 30s losing it. Now 41 and regret never sticking with the exercise routine I had in college. The period up to 30 years of age is a time when you need to invest time and effort in yourself, in building your competences and skills. After 30 you understand this more clearly. But the time when it is easy to learn becomes less. It's difficult to cross that barrier, though. If you spend time working on yourself early on and are competent, but now want to enjoy your successes via partying or whatever, The others are both partied out and overly exhausted from having to grind out 70-hour weeks near minimum wage. I probably just need to interact with more successful people instead. The 80/20 rule seems to be a good target by age 30. 80% of your results come from 20% of your effort. Doing things more efficiently gains you additional opportunities such as time/capacity for personal enjoyment, or whatever else you'd like. Want to enjoy your successes via partying, or whatever. The others are both partied out and overly exhausted from having to grind out 70-hour weeks near minimum wage. I probably just need to interact with more successful people instead. TBF, successful people probably developed good habits and aren't going to be suddenly partying at 30. Be swift as the coursing river, with all the force of a great typhoon, with all the strength of a raging fire, mysterious as the dark side of the moon. Let's get down to business. Do that one thing you dreamed about. Travel. Take a job as a raft instructor/ski instructor/fishing guide/museum security guard/whatever for a summer. Or make a thing. Whatever it is. Or learn a skill you've always wanted to know. The longer you wait, the less likely you'll be to be able to do it. Career. Marriage. Kids. Life events will keep coming up. Not a bad thing necessarily, so seize the moment if you can. My dad always encouraged me to do something like this, and I didn't. Instead, I started working immediately, got married, had a kid, etc. I have been fortunate enough to sprinkle adventures and accomplishments in throughout my life, but I regret not taking more advantage of that period of my life. Start working out. Get those habits and disciplines started early. If women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Apostrophe. One night long ago, I was with a bunch of friends and the only sober person there. Everyone was pretty well lit, and so was a fire we sat/stood around. Unfortunately, there was no more wood and everyone was going to let it burn out. I kept disappearing deep into the trees and returning with more. Finding and breaking good pieces. Kept that fire blazing for hours. Someone said, "Damn, dude, you're so resourceful." That was a compliment I enjoyed. Your dad material. That's what a good responsible dad would do. He needs to F in order to be a dad. Op can chime in on this. For all we know, has getting laid daily. Stay virgin to become a wizard, as they told in the ancient texts. Cultivate skills that can sustain him, independent of whether he enjoys utilizing them or not. First and foremost is the ability to do so. Nobody likes a useless man. We don't have that privilege. Love this. You don't have to be a master of everything, but you need to learn something. I make a point to be handy and able to complete regular maintenance in my life, whether it be on my car, property or myself. Learning how to change my car's brakes, etc. They're brakes, not brakes, not after he's done with them. I think every man needs to taste some sort of failure that forces him to grow and improve. It's definitely helped me. My goals for 30 are 1. Learn to live independently without your parents and look after yourself. 2. Learn how to socialize with people and make friends. 3. Find a career that excites you and will sustain you in the long term. Ultimately, learn to be happy. Stop making excuses to work on your dreams. Act every day determined to prove the devil wrong. 1. In this economy. Also 3. In this economy. Health and finance in check. Like a stable job and a big amount of money, that sort of thing. Shoot for a stable job and a net worth of $0 by 30 and you'll probably be ahead of most. Seriously, by the time a man is 30, rest of male population has smoked and drunk away most of their youth. It's rather easy to look like a good catch by that time. Everyone gets the face they deserve after 40. Shit catches up with you, yo. Live 30 years. Survive 30 years. Endure 30 years. Tolerate 30 years. Outlast 30 years. Learn to stand on his own 2 feet. This goes for money, friends and love. Still have to learn this. For friends especially, in the same boat, man. Not seeing friends for weeks/months at a time is fucking rough. Make sure what he's doing is what he's passionate about. Figure out what you want out of life and go after your goal. I'm almost 30 and exactly going for this. I'm 30. Still ain't got a clue. If it helps. I'm 30 and my general goal is to go through life as happy as I can be. So that means identifying when I'm not happy and making the necessary changes. It's easy to lose yourself aiming for goal A, and then goal B, and then goal C. But if they are just random goals, then you might find yourself with an abundance of money in your own home and a nice job and a nice car, but without any real or meaningful relationships or hobbies for fun. I wasn't happy in London during COVID, so I moved to Manchester to be closer to family. I was no longer happy renting, so I finally pulled the trigger on purchasing a home, and it's due to be complete in December. I'm happy at my current job, but not happy with finances due to the current economic climate. So I've got a second round interview on Friday. I'll either be taking that job or hopefully leveraging the offer to get increased pay where I'm now. Don't drive yourself to misery trying to achieve goals. Goals can change, so that's why I mostly just aim for a happy life, because that's a constant. Self-reflect and have accountability. Don't measure yourself using someone else's stick. Own your faults. Fill in the gaps the best you can. Know who you are, and be honest about it. Get in a good exercise habit. Win at least one Olympic gold medal in any sport. Win or acquire. Dealer's choice. Travel on your own. Any tips? Looking to venture out into the solo travel world. This June, I had break before I started work, and so I decided to travel. In 2 days I booked flight tickets to Iceland for the coming Wednesday. Went online, found a self-driving tour, booked it and just followed the itinerary. First time traveling. First time driving left-handed drive. It's right-hand drive in my country. The 7 days I had with myself was something I cannot forget. I met people there, lost my wallet, but still it was an experience that I won't forget. Didn't have to wait for anyone to go, and I was glad to just do it. Turn 29. You race me to it, and learn the difference between two and 2 before 29. A. Learn to drive well. It's a useful skill. B. Learn to eat well. I don't mean food. Edit. I mean licking pussy. Lots of people missed this one. It's a very useful thing. Hooks partners really quickly. C. Learn to cook well. You and your partner will thank past you for learning the skills. Makes you self-reliant. D. Learn to assemble furniture and electronics. Super useful skill, and makes life a lot easier. E. Take care of your body. Start a routine you can follow for the rest of your life. You will thank yourself for this for the rest of your life. Good list. One more to add. F. Learn to budget, and to save 10% earnings no matter what. I wouldn't exactly go for saving 10%, but I would try to not live wealthier when you get wealthier. So when life throws lemons you can quit your job, or you can still afford rent. A way of doing that is always saving 10%, but I would add this way of thinking to it. According to some posts I've seen lately, learn to wipe his own ass. Edit. I'm female, but thanks to the advice, I know now that lifting the balls apparently helps. Information I definitely didn't need to know. XD. Have you tried lifting your balls and wiping from the front? It's a game changer. Wait a minute. Stop smoking and drinking and start exercising. If you are 30 and still alive, that means you didn't live fast enough to die early, so you will need your body to be good to go for the years to come. Buy a house, save for retirement. Even if all you save is $10, the jar fills one drop at a time.